Greetings and welcome. Here we have a set of SRH Shure SRH 930 headphones back from the dead. None other, resurrected after being 5 or 6 years put away. And the problem with these headphones, I'll show a picture in the video. The original headphones had a big horrible plastic headband which used to break after 4 or 5 months of constant use, rendering the headphones totally useless, as did mine. So the problem was, the headphones were made of plastic. They broke, I should say the bands, not the actual ear cups. The ear cups are very good. And in order to repair them, you have to seal the cups, because I'll show you here on these Sigma headphones, which are a very good headphone. First of all, you have the issue of the wire which goes, this is a left entry, a left entry headphone, the same as the Shure's. The cable comes in and it goes around over the bridge, and when you replace the headband you have to address that. So when you remove this gimbal, this fork in the headphone, if you're replacing the headband for any reason, you're also breaking the seal, the air seal, and you have to address that problem. Now the way I've solved that in the Shure's is I've opened up the cans and I pumped hot glue in at that entry point where the seals were, one on each side, and the same for the ear cup. So this combined with tape internally physically made the seal, and this is important because otherwise you're going to have bloated bass in your headphones when you go to listen. So that's one thing you have to address. Now this here is, what you're looking at here is a prototype headband, and it's not actually a conventional headband at all, because in my opinion headphone manufacturers have been making a mistake for a century now, or pretty much thereabouts. The headband, traditional headband, consists of a lot of design, and it also is delicate, and it might not be comfortable. People of course suffer with hot spots in the head and all kinds of things. This is far cheaper, and there is no comparison in terms of comfort. What we're looking at here is an elasticated headband. It doesn't have to be, but it is. In this case it's elasticated. It gives you a lot of adjustment. Now bear in mind, you're looking here at a prototype. In order to make this ready for the road, so to speak, you'll have to do a few modifications, but not many. But what you're looking at here is fully functional, and I will show you a clip shortly. So there we are. It's fitted, very comfortable, and extremely light. By replacing the original headband, it reduced the weight immediately from about 350 grams down to exactly 200, making this a very wearable headphone like never before. There is simply no comparison between the performance of this headphone physically in terms of wear and comfort and making a seal and portability and all the rest with the original headband system. And you could actually, in principle, replace any headband and any headphone that you wanted to. Not that you would, but you might want to or need to, with this system, and it works far better. So as I say, this is a prototype one, and what you're looking at here is, well, you have a few unpleasantries in terms of physical looks, but it does fully function, and it's really superb. In this case here, I've used these tie wraps in order to hold the assembly on. If you were manufacturing this and you wanted to adopt this headband system from scratch, you would have this cloth material internal and coming out of the just between the plate, let's show it on this headphone, you'd have it coming out, you'd have the cloth coming out from between this, you'd fit it in between the front plate here, which houses the speaker, the driver, and the back box. You'd have the cloth going in there, and you'd probably typically crimp it in internally so to come out. You'd also typically put a buckle. In this case here, I've just simply put a keyring on each side to interface it and to anchor it to the ear cup, and it works perfectly well. But you'd typically have a buckle, a plastic buckle, say, or a metal one, and you'd break the strap here, and you'd have the buckle there, and you'd feed it in through on one side, and this gives you ability to adjust it. You could tie it up with Velcro and so on. Now the bottom one, it's not the purpose of the bottom one. It's very important as well. The bottom strap holds the headphone parallel to your ears, and that's actually necessary, the same as you have a motorbike helmet. Now in this case here, I've actually used the strap I actually had available, the same elasticated strap. In practice, I think you would use a thinner one, much thinner elasticated strap, and you'd have it just like in a motorbike helmet, say. You'd tie it up and you could adjust it and for tension and so on, and you'd have it coming across around under your neck like so. But nonetheless, even though this is a thick strap, it's actually very comfortable. But in practice, I think in the real world, you would load a narrow strap onto it. But that system works way, way better. There's no comparison between that and the original headband. And you could, like I say, you could apply this to any large headphone. And this enables this large headphone to be portable from the point of view of wearing it around the house or whatever else, or even on the street if you wanted to go out. It makes it much more portable. You can bend over and stoop down working or something like that. They don't fall off your head. You have none of those issues. Far lighter and more comfortable than the original headphone ever was. So, this is an accidental invention on my part. I was looking to simply resurrect my beloved Shure headphones. Now I'm going to do an extra video about those Shures, because out of all the headphones I've ever had, these have been the best, and you will see more of them hopefully on this channel, because these are absolutely the king of detail. They're a detail monster. They have wide soundstage, unbelievably so for a closed headphone. They're the most open sounding closed headphone probably I've ever come across. They're fantastic with detail, unmatched, and they really are the champions, and they're back from the dead, and I'm delighted about it. Now, I say it was accidental, this strapping thing, because I was just simply looking for a way to resurrect these headphones and have them on my ears again, because they lay in the box for 5 or 6 years, for about 5 or 6 years. After they broke, less than a year after I got them. I think I got them when they came out first in 2014 or 15. But Shure, on their hands, have had a brilliant headphone here, and they really messed it up by engineering or trying to engineer a really bad, horribly bad plastic, brittle headband. And they basically undid arguably the best headphone in the market. Now, when these headphones came out, people who appreciated them were comparing them to the mighty Sennheiser HD 800 headphones, the things that cost €1,000 more than these did. These cost, I think, €190 on Amazon when I bought it in about 2014 or 15, something like that. So I'm delighted to have them back, and it's wow, they're an amazing headphone. But I guess the purpose of this video is to highlight not just the headphones, but the actual strapping system. So as I say, the strapping system was accidental on my part. I was just simply looking to resurrect the headphones. And I was doing this as a temporary measure. And then I realized, after using them, that in fact they're far more comfortable and far, far better. And the advantages of this over a traditional headband system are numerous. There's no advantage at all with the traditional headband system. When you think of design, they seriously lose weight. They're more comfortable. You make a better seal with your head when they're on. In addition, there's less design involved, there's less material, so this cuts down the production cost and all of that. Also, when you have them off, you can push these two cushions together, which you cannot do with the conventional headphone, and it makes them extremely compact, and you can put them into a bag or something like that, much more durable for transporting. Now in practice, I should say that to make the headphones fully portable and usable in the real world, and not just home things like these are now, you'd have to deal with this wire. A lot of headphones are side entry cable, and like this you have the wire going over here. I had to reroute this wire, and in fact I had to resolder it in the far cup inside, as well as sealing them internally. But you'd have to deal with this wire coming out. Well, you could of course use sleeving from a conventional cable like that and feed it in through it. That's helpful, obviously. In addition, when you're making up this, in this case I think I made it up using a little staple gun. I stapled up these cloths around. You could have an extra elastic coming, like double up this elastic typically, and staple it through, so create a tunnel and feed the bridge cable through this way, and this would make things much more robust. You do have to address that, the issue of bringing over the cable. Some headphones, for example the Sennheiser HD650, the ones that these headphones replaced and were a better sounding headphone. The HD650s are nonetheless a very nice headphone, but they always suffered from too much tension on the ear. They were too tightly, not the most comfortable headphone in the world, although they were very good sounding and impressive open headphone. Now those particular headphones, the HD650s, has a cable entry on both sides, which is nice, balanced, so you don't have this overreaching wire, this bridge wire issue to have to address. So the HD650s would be super candidates to go to this strapping system. But like I say, to make it more permanent, and this strapping is easy, you can buy this in any drapery obviously. To make it more permanent, I would buy cheap buckles on Amazon, put a buckle in here, cut the strap, put a buckle in here, and feed the short bit of the strap straight in. Open the headphone and feed it straight in between the faceplate of the headphone and the actual cup, and anchor it inside in there internally. That's the way to go, and you can do the same for the bottom strap. But the bottom strap, as I say, make it thin. And as I do it, I'll be doing this again, I think, with other headphones, and as I do it, I'll have them on the channel, and I'll put them out there to show what a fully portable headphone would be like with this strapping system. But rest assured, folks, there is no comparison in terms of comfort and function. None whatever between this system and a conventional headband system, traditional headband system like this. They've been doing this for a century now, almost, and it's the wrong idea. Really, it doesn't work. It does work, but it's crude and it's got loads of disadvantages, including expense and design and all of that. Don't need it, folks. Don't need it. So I'm not suggesting you take your very nice headphones and open them up and do away with the headband. But if you have need to replace a headband, this is a far better system, and it's cheap. It takes a little bit of work and thought, of course. But really, headphone manufacturers should adapt this system. And of course you can have different colored headbands if you wanted to, make it fashionable looking, whatever you want. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.